Welcome to the Lace 'em Up Podcast. I am your host, Davidito, and we back like we never left. And since we back, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Today's guest I'm excited about. He's coming to us from the UK. Phenomenal artist. He does custom shoes, handbags, backpacks, all that kind of wonderful stuff. But his portraits are phenomenal. He's had some opportunities to work with some huge people in the industry. Yeah, I had the opportunity to do some custom shoes for Elton John. How mind-blowing is that? Alright, you'll get to hear more about him and his story here in this episode. Just FYI, towards the end of the episode, there's about 20 minutes where a video kind of glitched up. We had some technical difficulties, but the sound is there. Please stick and stay with your boy. Without further ado, Starline, welcome to the podcast.
Listen, you want custom shoes, that's gonna take some bucks. Whatever you have for the price, go ahead and raise them up. Better get your spot now for what's taken up. When it's all said and done, my guy, lace them up. Come on, lace them up.
This is where I forget my name.
It's all good.
After all
it's
that
all good.
Off camera.
Yeah, it's all good. So let's start here. First, introduce yourself to the audience, who you are, where you're from. That's also going to be interesting in this one.
Mm-hmm. So I'm Starline Customs. I'm based in the UK. You can't tell by my accent. And basically I've been customizing shoes for probably 8 years now. But actually it started with wedding shoes and canvas shoes with pens. And it was pretty slow until I discovered Angelus paints and then moved to leather sneakers and just completely rebranded. And from that point, it really took off. That was like 5.5 years ago. And I've just not stopped painting since then.
Nice. So I'm going to rewind you a little bit, right? One of my favorite questions to ask in this space is, what got you into art? Like, where did art start for you?
Well, that's a profound question. When did that spark ignite? Yeah. I'd say, I probably wasn't even conscious of it because you're born into this world where there's so much external influence on your psyche beyond your knowledge, like your subconscious. But I would say it started from my first memory of about 3 when I was seeing my granddad's tattoos. He was in the Navy, had like skulls and snakes and like swords all over his arms, and obviously that's fucking just badass. Oh, sorry, I just swore. Do you have to bleep that out? But
Nah, it's all good.
Tattoos like that, swords, skulls, and snakes on my granddad's arms. I was obviously trying to copy them and draw as a 3-year-old. I think I was about 3. It started with my granddad's tattoos, and then tables in school, walls in the streets, and then finally something more respectable, like now, and shoes. So no, we're not going to get into trouble.
So that's still interesting, right? To say shoes and say that it's more something more respectable, right?
Yeah.
For a traditional artist, they would be like, a canvas is more respectable, not some sneakers or some tennis shoes. Right, so why did you pick that as your canvas?
Probably because it wasn't a traditional canvas, probably because it felt like it was breaking the chain a bit. It's hard to stand out, but it also felt like that was initially, I felt like this was my idea and my idea alone. We were just on the train back from London. I've never been exposed to this, painting shoes or custom shoes, didn't know what it was at all. And we just on the way back from London. And that was when I just was drawing on some canvas shoes with pens. Spectrum Noir, they're like Poscas almost, but alcohol dyes. Anyway, it was stopping everybody in the carriage. And they were like, oh, what's that? That's really cool. And then I thought, I must be onto something here. Because I already drew like portraits and things for people just on the side. It was not profitable really. It was more of a hobby with added benefits. But then I uploaded a shoe that I drew on the train, and I got an order from there, and that's when that was the catalyst for it all really. But what was I saying? Then I looked it up and realized, oh yeah, Kixtradamus, and Sietra, I might be saying his name wrong, but like they were the first two people I seen. And then I was like, oh yeah, this is a thing, and I thought, yeah, but it's funny that I thought it was my idea, but I bet loads of people have had that light bulb moment and then looked it up and was like thankful it's a thing, but at the same time, it doesn't get the attention a canvas would get, like amongst artists, and the virality of it isn't probably as big as it used to be, but it's definitely picking up some speed now. It's getting widely recognized. Look, you've got NBA players and things wearing them now, so it's a good thing for the craft. It's a good thing. But yeah, probably because I felt like I was breaking the cycle, doing something different, is why I chose shoes. Oh, and because just from a business point of view, shoes already sell, so may as well put artwork on them and see if they sell even better and make them one of one to people. Seems like common sense. So
yeah, that's an interesting point. So speaking of the business aspect of this, right? Yeah. So you said starting out, being able to post something and then getting an order. What has been your most learned from lesson when it comes to doing that exchange with the customer?
Probably just letting them guide me to an idea, letting them throw as much as they can at me, and just listening to them, really. And then even just, I always say when we get emails that are just really brief, that they need to be explicit in what they want, and leave no holes barred. Just throw everything at me and we'll break it down, and that it isn't just a decision you'll make in one day. It's usually a long conversation to make something really special for them. So just getting a long dialogue going and making sure they really want it. And it's a luxury purchase as well, so why not put like a week or two into it, because they're probably only going to buy it once. And so I'd say just getting a good dialogue going with your customers and making sure they're serious, especially because I'm going to be putting in 2 months of work, so sometimes, and them customers that are okay to wait that long as well are pretty hard to find. This is quite a niche client base.
Yeah. In both fashions, right? It's a niche space as far as doing custom shoes, but then also trying to find the person who's willing to make the purchase and go through that process with you. So definitely, for sure.
But now it's more common knowledge, so thankfully there's a bigger collective awareness of it now than there was when I got started. It was very fresh then.
Yeah. Agreed. It's definitely grown over the years. I think because people have seen it and they're going, oh, I can do that, and they feel like they can get a quick grab from it. So I feel like soon there will be a space between people who are artists in the space and people who are just mimicking or trying to create something that is trendy. When it comes to custom shoes, but
the real ones will stick around till the end. The trend hoppers will come and go.
Yeah. That's kind of how it tends to go with everything, right? Like,
true.
The people who are on trends, they are there for a minute, and then
the people that are successful are just the ones that are crazy enough to keep doing it every day, even when it's hard. So, thankfully, I've got a few screws loose.
That's funny. So with your shoes, what would you say is your style of painting? Let's start there.
Worst style.
Worst style?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, what is your style?
What is my style?
Yeah.
Probably realism. Yeah. Like portraits and more like fine art. Fine art is my forte, I'd say. I do like abstract stuff as a background, but then I like to just go really granular with portraits and just really high detailed things that you just wouldn't even notice from a mile away, well, from like 5 feet away until you pick up the shoe, and then it's kind of, it takes your breath away that you can pack all those details in. Again, most people wouldn't even see it out on the street. It'd be too small and too detailed for them to notice it, but that's why a lot of people actually, they don't even wear them. I think I've got, yeah, like 2 or 3 client updates where I've seen people wearing them and they've said, these are great, still enjoying them a year down the line. But other than that, they're usually on a wall. So I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Probably good.
A
They
lot of
appreciate
times I feel like,
that much.
a lot of times I feel like people, if they do wear them, they'll put them on just to take a picture with them, and then they'll put them up.
Yeah,
They don't.
yeah. People
they don't
probably
tend
do
to
that
wear
with
them a lot.
sneakers.
Yeah. The only ones that, like you mentioned earlier, that you really get a lot of wear or burn are professional athletes or like
Celebrities.
and sports players. So NFL players, that kind of stuff. People playing football. That get them. Yeah, they're definitely in them. They're playing games in them. So
They're gonna buy a new pair every game.
yeah,
They're a great client to have. They're gonna keep cycling them around.
definitely a
Probably
good
want a
market
different
to be
one
in.
for every game. Yeah. Who's in now? Gamash. He's basically in that arena, isn't he? Do you know Gamash? I always
I
say
haven't seen his
Mash,
work.
but I hear other people say Gamash. No, he's just does a lot of shoes for NFL players and things. So
There's quite a few people that I'm
oh, have you spoke to some?
have known or spoke to or whatever that do quite a bit in that space. So
It's good that they're so open-minded to it. The sportsmen and the super leagues and all that. It's really not. It's frowned upon almost here. Like footballers.
really,
Yeah. They because especially with maybe clashing brand reasons, intellectual property crap. I don't know, some sort of legal reason they won't want to promote something on the pitch. It won't be necessarily down to the player.
your screen went black. Okay, it's back.
Oh, so my battery is a bit low.
That's why. Okay, cool. I was gonna ask you on your shoes. You mentioned a little bit about the detail, but
Yeah.
I mean, looking at them, the detail on these, especially for the canvas size, is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is tiny. Right, I've got a charger plugged in.
Okay,
Okay, never mind.
it's like it's trying to figure its life out. Looks like.
Aren't we all? It says 46% plugged in, but you will do cuts, won't you? I hope.
Yeah, I'll cut some of this. Normally, I try not to as much as I can.
Yeah, well, I'll try
That
and
way I
keep
can
the
get-
disruption.
Yeah,
Disruption.
yeah,
I can't even
and
say
try
the
to
word.
keep the
Brief.
authenticity of the video
Yeah.
as much as possible.
Yeah, because people are like, "What did you cut out then? Like, what are you
Yeah.
hiding?"
Yeah,
And if they're gonna stick around for more than 15 minutes, they're pretty much gonna watch half an hour or an hour
Yeah.
of something. If they're patient enough to stay for that long.
yeah, for sure. But so my question on this is a detail. One, like,
Yeah.
how is your hand not like fully cramped all the time
It
from
is. I
trying
was
to
just
do?
stuck like this.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Getting
Like, but the
arthritis.
detail in that small space is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah,
How-
how are you packing all that in there?
I don't know, man. Like, I suppose this is why I can't see more than 10 feet ahead, because I'm just my like the ocular range is just really low because I have just spent years staring at things from like this far. So it's not good for your eyes, but it's good in the sense that I can pack in a lot of detail. I don't know. I guess it's just practice. Anybody could do it, given time. It wouldn't be easy, Um, but yeah, good brushes, I suppose. Really, actually, the one thing people think when they're doing loads of details is that they have to have a like tiny toothpick size brush. But I actually have the size 6 to 8 really thick brushes, but with a very sharp end. It gives it way more stability. So I think like that might be a little hint, a little trick, I guess.
Yeah.
How people gives you stability for sure. And everybody knows you got to apply your pinky, rest that against the shoe, and just and definitely I do support my arms sometimes on stuff because I couldn't do it like this. If I had my arm in the air, it'd be a mess. It'd be impossible.
Yeah. Your shoulder would be shot.
You know, it is. It is
Yeah.
actually. You know, and I didn't even think that it could be from drawing and painting. You're right. Oh my God, I've just had a revelation. I can barely lift my arm. It's I can't do it over my head with this left one very well. It's so painful, and I'm left-handed. You just solved it. I've got to stop painting. I'm done.
Well, you can't. We're producing this type of work, so you can't stop now.
Yeah, I can't stop now. Yeah. No, never stop.
For sure. Man. Okay, cool.
I
I
appreciate
like the
it.
tip though. For sure.
Yeah, hopefully someone can
like the
take
tip.
anything away from that. Usually you get this with musicians as well. You're like, how do you do it? And they just pretty much don't know. Writers as well. Like how do you come up with your songs and your ideas? And they're just like, I don't know. It just comes to them during an idle moment, like brushing up or mowing the lawn or taking a leak.
So, there's always something interesting to me in this space. Well, two things, right? One is about understanding what your gift is, and you're kind of speaking to some of that right now. People who have that ability to be creative, and they're like, I don't know where it comes from, but you spoke to it earlier in the interview, right?
Yeah.
Just saying, I was always this way. I feel like I was born this way. There's a part of this that happens before I even got here, and I honestly believe a portion of what we do and who we are, we inherit from somebody in our family, right? And those things are tend to be passed down,
Like
and
genetically somehow.
yeah,
Because before free, like any 3-year-old could maybe just, show no interest in tattoos and interest in something like mechanical. Like my son, to be honest, he's really into at 3. He was just, he's still 3, but from the moment he had motor skills, he wanted to just take things apart. He's very mechanical, and now he's obsessed with cars. So it was like you could see it in the making long before we introduced anything like that. So I don't know where it comes from, but like you say, somewhere beyond, for sure.
Yeah.
I think.
I have.
Sorry, go.
No, I was gonna say I definitely relate because I have 2 boys,
Okay,
right, and both of them have that creative thing. They both have the ability to draw. They both have the ability to create. Theirs is a little different in some spaces, but exactly the same in some spaces too. So, but my mother was like that.
Right.
My siblings are like that. Like it's something that there has to be something in that space
crazy,
that happens. So
I actually can't think of any. Yeah, I can't think of any artists in my family. Even like my great granddad and my great grandma. I don't think they were avid drawers. So it's weird. But could have been way back, Then we're going into epigenetics and all that. I don't know. Like we're all related to some degree, and if it can be coded into our DNA, why not? Why couldn't it be passed down several hundred years?
yeah.
Why put a limit on it? Why would it be so recent? I don't know.
Yeah. we all have a different gifts, right? And some of it is just identifying and honing in on it and being able to grow that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. So you mentioned that you have a little one, you have a kid.
Yeah.
How has having a kid changed you as a person?
Oh man, made me appreciate life a hell of a lot more. And I don't know if that was just because you kind of come into the world traumatically, because there was just loads of problems around birth, and well, even to this day. But he's coping regardless of all that. But just a childlike wonder. You lose it as you get a little older, and it's society kind of wears you down, and you have a child, and you just see those beautiful, curious eyes, and how they just want to be involved in everything, and they've got no insecurities, and they just will talk to anybody. You're just like, yeah, that's life, that's living, like that's how it should be. And you can take a note out of their book and learn from them. You can learn from your toddler. It's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say it's just made me appreciate life more, for sure.
Nice. Nice. Has it at any point like totally shifted your gears and who you were, or say, hey, I was wild, and now I'm like, oh God, I got to really focus because I got this little one that I got to
Yeah.
worry about.
Well, my girlfriend grounded me anyway. Before that, yeah, I was quite wild, but then having a son absolutely made sure I could never go back there,
Yeah.
in terms of just partying and being, what is it, masochistic or whatever. Hedonism, not masochism, that's like enjoying people's pain. I mean, hedonism, just wasting time. Like, no, I'm not gonna waste time now. Every moment is precious. Again, that's another thing they teach you. So yeah, it's just crazy, man. Lots of lessons. And it seems
Yeah.
like a very selfish thing to say, like, you're having all these revelations after having a child, it's all about them, but at the same time it's they've already got it worked out somehow. Somehow.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens once you have a kid. It should be about them now. I mean,
Yeah.
And making sure, at least for me, it's about them and making sure that they get a one up on life better than what I had.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
trying to
That
help
that
them.
helps as well if you've come from, like a different background, like you've had struggles growing up, if you come out of poverty. You absolutely don't want that for them, not again. And like I remember
Yeah.
being in that situation where neighbors are buying us food, and like there's blackouts, and we couldn't go and top up the electricity, so it'd just be a few days in darkness almost. And it's like, back then it was probably just fun, but at the same time, it came from a place of struggle and hardship, so they just did the best to make it fun.
Yeah.
But it isn't something you want to have to work through again, as we are now as adults. So yeah, you just want to make life as good as possible for them, and
Yeah.
that's why I need to keep doing what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
that's another
Yeah.
motivator.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's talk about this. Then, what gives you? I would say, what gives you the confidence to say, I'm gonna take this niche that very few people know about before you did your research, and say, I'm going to go out here and do this and potentially do it as a business, right? And try to sell this to somebody. Like, what gave you the confidence to do that?
Probably other people and all the tireless flattery I'd get. Them telling me how good I am. It's like you've got to believe them or reject them, and I guess I chose to believe them and just do something with it. So they probably, gave me a foundation to build upon, like people around me, just having faith in me. So again, it comes from them. Comes from them and within. You have to want to do it, and I did enjoy it, and I do enjoy it. So that helps. You can't
Yeah.
just have fun. But you want to prove to them that it can be done as well. sometimes
Yeah.
because there's this, you go into any area of any field of art with trepidation because people hear that trope of a broke artist and all that. You want to break that stereotype. It's like a starving artist. That's a trope.
Yeah.
But that's not true. So
Yeah.
that's another reason I probably didn't want to stick to canvases, because there's so much competition now,
Yeah.
and we've not got as much. It's growing though. There's some good guys out there now that make me want to
There's
up my
definitely.
skills for sure,
Definitely.
which is good.
There's a
because-
mixture there for me. On
Yeah,
that, sometimes I'm like,
different styles.
oh man, I'm inspired by this, and then sometimes I'm like, this person is too good. It makes me want to quit. And then I'm like, nah, I gotta keep going.
Yeah, but that's where you've got to kind of put your ego to one side and just say I can be as good as them, isn't it? Which is also kind of egotistical, but in a way, ego helps us survive to a degree, unless you let it take over. But there's a thin line between arrogance and confidence for sure. I'm gonna say it straight. It is.
You definitely have to find ways to be
Humble.
confident, but I feel like some of that comes with repetition, right? You do it enough
True.
to where you become comfortable in it, and that you being comfortable makes you confident.
Yeah, repetition for sure. Yeah, like after you 50th, 100th client, you realize actually it's not going to slow down anytime soon, as long as you keep on top of it. It did slow down a bit for me because I definitely didn't keep on top of it. You can't just be an artist, you have to be a PR guy, a social media expert, a videographer, Everybody says they just want to paint, and it's not that simple. You've got to promote yourself. And I try to do it as organically as possible. Unfortunately, it's not super... Right. It still says the battery is going down, but it shouldn't be. It's a power pack, so maybe it's a bit unreliable. Heard a little ding. Right, charging. We're on 10%, but it's charging.
Okay.
Alright, sweet. Right, that's the actual pack has got 46%. And I've got a plug there, but it just doesn't reach. Super unorganized. Actually, I just don't know why it's going down so fast. It was on 40% when we entered the call, and now it's on 10. Yeah, what was he saying? Sorry.
Just talking about the business side of it, right? From being just wanting to be an artist versus you also have to be the business person, the marketer. You have to be the salesman. You got to do all the pieces when it comes to it. So
I'm trying to keep that organic without putting your profits into the platform that gives you a platform. I know it sounds like selfish, but at the same time, you've got to try and capitalize on it as much as you can. And if that means who's gonna pay when they can get free organic viral videos if they do it well enough? You're always gonna go for the free route instead of giving Instagram, I don't know, 300 quid for $480 or something. So I always try and make sure, you home in on that side of the business, videography, taking good shots, clean shots, videos that capture the attention of people. Mr. Beast will teach you a bit about that, transitions every 3 seconds. It's bloody mayhem, but at the same time, it keeps them hooked, and then your video gets elevated further and put out to more people, and you benefit from it. You get more people's eyes on your work, and it's tedious, but it's got to be done. It's got to be done.
Yeah. That's funny. You mentioned the every 3 to 5 second thing.
It's too
for a
much.
minute, like I really like dug into it, and I was doing that, and then it's exhausting. But
It is to
I
do
would,
it.
yeah, I would find myself also too. But if I was watching something like a television production, I would be counting the seconds per frame to
Yeah,
see
I've
if
done
they were
that too.
following the same thing,
The
right? And
patterns.
I was like, okay, one, two, three, up. Yep, they just switch it. One, two, three. Yep, they switched
Mm,
it. You know,
no way,
like
we both did that. I had to do
yeah,
that as
it's
well for the kids stuff, you know. I was like, oh my God, no, this is really stimulating. This is too much. You know, this is a
yeah,
new frame every 2 seconds. Like, it's insane. You shouldn't be watching that, you know, my toddler. So I try and thankfully we're dialed into that so we can find the low stim stuff for them. But yeah, it's insane, man. The effect that social media has had on people's brains, you know, permanent effects as well almost at this rate if they keep doing what they're doing because their dopamine levels are literally just tanked. They're not their bar for what satisfies them now is much higher on a chemical level.
yeah,
It's been changed and yeah, it's crazy, but we're contributing to it by
yeah,
editing the videos
yeah,
to keep up. It's a it's a
yeah.
it's a double-edged sword, you know.
Right, because
But
we're trying to find a way to stay in the race and do the things that we need to do, but at the
uh,
same time, you have that going on.
but we
So
can't change the
yeah,
system.
yeah,
Yeah.
true, absolutely true. Oh, um, what I was what I was going to ask you is was really about the creative process. So in problem solving, I honestly believe
Uh-oh.
that creating is problem solving.
Mm.
It's one of the things that I say all the time. So my question in that space is, with painting shoes or working on shoes, what has been that biggest obstacle that you've had to try to fix on a shoe, right?
Mm.
Just give us the story or what the experience was for you.
Mm. I always say I don't make mistakes, but I'm sure I've made some.
Mm.
Um, it's really hard to think of any. Well, you make a mistake and initially it's, you know, a disaster and your heart's in your stomach and you think, oh my God, I've got to do the whole pair again, and then you just find a way to turn it into something positive. I mean, it's all about adapting to your mistakes rather than trying to correct them. You know, it's rather than trying to push against them too hard. Just find some benefits in the chaos if you can. I mean, I can't talk for anybody else if I don't know what their mistakes are if they make them, but I mean, maybe I've done something on the wrong shoe, wrong size. You can't really correct that. You can't make that customer's shoe feet smaller. So I think, yeah, I think I did that. Yeah, I had to just start again. I had a bunch of shoes. It was late, and I spent like 19 hours on a design on the wrong size, and I just had to do it again. But then it didn't happen, but you never know. It could happen that that theme comes around again in that size that I've already half painted. So you gotta find the silver lining and just have hope. It's not happened yet. Actually, I don't know where that shoe's gone, but but I think that was the biggest mistake I've ever made.
Yeah.
Um, not the biggest mistake I've ever made. I'm sure I've made bigger mistakes that aren't on shoes.
This episode of the Lace Up Podcast is brought to you by Davidito Designs. Davidito Designs is my website. It's where you can go and cop some merch. You can also put in a request for some custom shoes, and we can bring whatever idea that you may have in your mind to life on a pair of custom shoes. Back to the podcast. What would you say is your favorite shoe to work on, and what is the worst shoe?
Favorite shoe. Oh, lately it's so obviously it's ever evolving, but up to now with what I've worked on, the Adidas Stan Smiths have been an all-time like up to now are an all-time favorite. There's something about them that just, for my kind of work, what I do is like no matter how much paint I put on there, it just kind of evens out. It gets absorbed a little into the top layer. The worst would just be, for me, canvas-based shoes, which is why I switched from them. Once I started painting, I didn't find I could paint them very well without dark and softener and all that. And then I just didn't feel like I could get good designs on the shoe because it'd all merge and bleed into each other. So I like to paint leather, but mostly Adidas Stan Smiths at the moment. But that's it.
Nice.
Nothing mind-blowing.
Hey, no, you know what? I would say that you are the first person that has said that.
Oh, well, is the traditional shoe Air Force Jordans?
Yep.
Favorites? Then I
most
think that's
people,
just because they've not had enough variety.
Yeah, most people it's Air Force ones. I've had a couple people that's a little different. For me, it's Jordan 1s, Jordan 1 mids or highs.
Mids? Oh, yeah. Yeah, for some reason, mids. The Jordan 1 mids, I prefer them to Air Force 1. I don't know what it is, again. Just something about the bouncy softness of the leather, but it's also a firm shoe with a good backing. Mm-hmm. It's not flimsy. Probably because of basketball shoes or something, but...
Yeah, and it also gives you more canvas space to work with.
True. So, I did do a pair of off-white Jordan 5s. They're the kind of weird mesh, but you'd think it'd go on like fabric, but I'm not going to say it's my favorite, but it's probably my second favorite up to now. But I'm probably only going to paint one pair of those. And when it comes to like old Renaissance art, you'll see it. I wish I was in my studio because I could show you. It just looks really cool. And there's something about the texture of the mesh that just gives it this grainy, raw look. It makes it look more old-fashioned, old Renaissance, like a crumbling papyrus or something. It just looks really cool. I can't wait to finish the video and upload that.
Is that the one that you did the eyeball in?
Oh yeah. So I did upload a bit of it. Yeah, that one. Yeah. It's really, you wouldn't think paint would go on it because there's sponge behind it and everything, but it goes on really nicely. And I kind of see why people like canvas for that reason. Sometimes it can be easier to blend, and every little tiny microscopic bump looks like texture. I can't explain it, but it is a bit easier to blend on canvas because the bleed just naturally gives you a fade. But it's trying to control that for me that's difficult.
Yeah. So you mentioned it maybe end up being one of your favorites.
Yeah.
And you said you've been doing this for about 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your top 5 favorite shoes that you've created?
Yeah. So I'd say number 1 is the pair I made for Elton John. Then, just because it had that was Stan Smith, that's how I was introduced to them, because he's sponsored by them or something. And obviously a lot of pressure doing it for that guy. I wanted to make sure he was perfect. That helped.
Yeah.
But the shoe absolutely made the job a lot easier. Then 2 would be the one I sent to Sakura Art Gallery, or Sakura Art Gallery in France, and it was the Great Heist. I think I quoted it as that. Like the Looney Tune robbery one, and it had Mona Lisa, like a mini Mona Lisa on it. And then Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, running out of the shop with it. And just a bunch of like art thefts happening. But that was also my other preferred style, which is merging realism with cartoons. Oh, sorry, I got add effects using hand gestures. Is there a pop-up on that?
It's for some reason your screen's black. There we go. It's back
Oh,
on
it's
there.
because I was doing all this, I think.
Oh.
It said something about hand gestures, like I was throwing my
Oh.
hands around too much.
Wow. Gotcha.
So
Okay,
yeah,
that's 2.
that's 2, and then
Yeah.
3 more. Hmm. Well, the one I'm working on, the Off-White Jordan 5s, based on Virgil Abloh's love of graffiti and street art. So it's got a bit of Basquiat and then just the t-shirts. He likes the really old Renaissance art, Michelangelo stuff, and so I've got some of that on there, paintings from Michelangelo. So they might become my number 2. They might be, but I'm not sure yet. Yeah. Currently they're my 3rd favorite ones, and then the last 2. Oh, there was one. It is, in terms of aesthetics and style, it's irrelevant. But the meaning behind it was just like a kid that basically wouldn't get out of bed in the morning. He was autistic and he had a very particular taste of a certain type of dinosaur, not even just dinosaurs, it was like a type of dinosaur. I forget the name of it, unfortunately, but she was like, if you could just put this dinosaur, this specific type, on the shoes, like it would make my life so much easier. And I did, and obviously she messaged and said like, thank you, it gets him out of bed, he really loves his shoes, and like, he can't wait to go to nursery. And I was like, wow, like that's literally physically touched somebody's life and made their life easier. So I guess that's number 1, man. Fuck all the rest, that's number 1. Yeah, like if I can, because I can imagine just ordinary children are pretty annoying and picky and hard to deal with. They argue and fight back. So if you've got like laser focus on a specific dinosaur, you have to have something with that on. That was really cool. Yeah. So okay, that goes number 1, and then I guess there's one more now.
Yeah, now you need a number 5. Since everybody else got bumped down the list.
Yeah, sorry, Elton John.
Yeah,
To be
poor
honest,
Elton.
I didn't hear from him personally. As exciting as it was his chairman, Luke, who reached out to me and got that commission. But I haven't actually seen him wear them yet, so it almost doesn't feel real. I get the 5th one's gonna be Ed Sheeran's pair, yeah, because I've seen him wearing them, and the excitement and the appreciation, and you rarely get to see that. So
Yeah.
the fifth one is Ed Sheeran's. There we go. We've done it. We got through it.
Got your top 5.
Yeah, that's top 5. I've never considered it. I mean, I'm sure I watched your podcasts with Feel Good Freds and things like that, but I forgot kind of how you navigate the interview. So I didn't. Like I said, I prefer to forget anyway, because then I'll just overthink it.
Yeah.
But I know him as well. He's really, really talented. Amazing what he can put together. Like that's just a whole new skill.
Yeah, but like repetition, right? And then learning materials and how you piece stuff together, and like, man, yeah. And that's how I feel like there's so many different things that I've just from doing these interviews that I've learned from everybody, like different tips and tricks and everything that I've just learned from so many different people and their perspective on stuff and how they approach things, and what they would say this was the number 1 thing that you need to focus on, or whatever the case may be. So
gonna make you the best. You're the Napoleon Hill of custom sneakers. He's the one
I don't know about all that.
He did the Think and Grow Rich book, and he'd go around interviewing all millionaires and stuff, and how they got to where they were, and then he did it himself. Anthony Robbins, he does the same thing, or did the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've
That's
got
true.
to emulate people that are already successful at what they're doing and take what you can from that. There's an element of copying everything. That's how we learn languages. It's how we know how to fit into a civilized society. You kind of copy people that are doing it right. So there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But just to catch the information in the nuggets and be like, man, so many things
Yeah,
are similar, but there's so many things that you pick up and learn from different people, and to watch the many different avenues that people are taking, when they're going through this
yeah,
journey,
yeah.
and how they find different ways to spin off from it and grow from it, but keep this their base. And it's been really, really dope to watch, and learn, and see different people do different things. So
It's like
yeah,
we're
that's been cool.
witnessing something, the birth of something, you know what I mean? Like the birth of something
Hmm.
brand new, and everybody, you don't usually get that in your lifetime, or you don't
Yeah,
appreciate it in the moment until like 10 years later, but it feels like it's happening right now, you know? And so it's a good
yeah,
space to be in. And
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
again, like totally cool. It's so cool that you're giving people a platform and taking interest in it.
yeah. I feel like that's one of the voices that's missed, right? Like, people appreciate what you do. They like the artwork, but they don't know the person behind it. Um,
Sure.
and they don't understand the process too, because there's some people that look at it and go, it's cool, but I don't know if I want to spend that much money on it,
Mm,
not knowing that how much time and effort that you have to put into it,
yeah.
in order to get
Mm.
them that product. So it's, for me, it's interesting. That's part of the reason why I do it. So for sure.
But you're right. We have a bias. Like we're in this space.
Hmm.
Outsiders, they do not realize the hours and hours of sweat and skill and dedication and torment that we put ourselves through sometimes. You go crazy, man. I remember I used to, before the toddler, I would stay up until 4 or 5 a.m. just in the zone. It's like in a trance, just painting. And they
Yeah,
have no idea that I'm putting in
yeah,
probably more than anybody would dare to put into a normal job where they get a wage. And I'm still getting minimum wage, not even sometimes, back then especially, putting in 2 months worth of work to get like a grand or something. It's
yeah,
crazy. Um,
yeah. Exactly,
and then they've made
exactly.
that twice in their with their salary, and they still feel like it's expensive. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Well, it
So
can be. It can be.
yeah. So speaking of being in the zone or being
Mm.
engaged, right? Um, what are you listening to in that space? Are you listening to
Oh yeah.
music? Are you is
Mm.
a audiobook? Like, what are you listening to in that space?
Oh yeah. Actually, I do listen to a lot of podcasts. So
Mm.
um, I listen to the Higher Side Chats and a bit of Joe Rogan, and actually that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, just two podcasts. So I say it like I'm an avid listener, but no, just a couple. And then yeah, mostly music. It really can shift your mindset, and you can listen to a bit of
Mm-hmm.
jazz if you're doing something lively and colorful. And then next thing you know, your shoe is just crazy. Um, if you just you're in for a long night, something more chill but repetitive, like
Mm-hmm.
house music, trance
Mm-hmm.
music, whilst you go into a trance. Yeah, it depends on the theme too. Like, so I was painting a pair of Marilyn Manson heels, so naturally listened to Marilyn Manson and wasn't a fan until I listened to about 50 tracks. So, and then
Yeah.
you see the beauty in everything. Then if you just immerse yourself in it, and I get a bit like that. I get lost in the character almost. Slipknot when I was painting them, listening to that, and
Yeah.
and
That's a whole new definition of putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
literally, oh my god, You need to coin that phrase. Yeah, so Elton John as well. When I was doing them, I was listening to loads of Elton John, and I'd only heard one and really remembered and liked one song, which was that forget the song, which was
Rocket
that
Man.
no, it was
Oh,
Wild Like Horses
gotcha.
with Pavarotti. My uncle like introduced me to it once, like when I was younger, and it kind of just imprinted on my mind. So that was the only one I liked. But now, yeah, Rocket Man, all of them, you just like them once you immerse yourself into it. And doing this makes I have to. I don't know what it is. I just feel like I'll get a better outcome with the shoe and the theme if I immerse myself in the theme and the topic and the subject. Like an actor who's maybe method acting, they just do it all day, every
Yeah.
day. Around that, they're having tea with a family and they're still in character, that kind of thing. And if you can get into that, if you can tap into that, I think you just become a really great artist. Again, that's where I say you probably got to have a few screws loose because you're almost like letting go of who you are, putting all that to one side so that you can really concentrate on what you're doing. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Really get into a flow state.
Yeah,
And everything else
there you
kind of
go.
just melts away. Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, not trance. Flow state. Yeah, that is the word. And where does that come from? I don't even know. It just switches on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And next thing you know, you've been there for like 5 hours and you're like, oh man, I
yeah.
need to eat. I need to do this. I need to do
I need.
that.
Yeah. And one time it was like I needed to just go and take my son Reed to the nursery. To nursery. I just went all night. I just didn't sleep. That was a commission that was like expedited, so a rush job, and I
Yeah.
promised to deliver, and they paid generously, so I'm not gonna let them down because I want the money back. But yeah, I stayed up, and I was like, oh god, it's 5 a.m. Reads in nursery in 3 hours. I may as well just stay up, and then just had a few hours when he went to nursery, and then it picked him up and back at it for another
Yeah.
16 hours or something. And nobody would do that if they didn't love it. That's torture. You
Yeah.
have to love it.
Yeah. For
But
sure.
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
if you
what
asked
would
the
you?
question then, sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, well, what would you say to someone who's going, "Hey, I like what you do. I think it's cool. It's dope. Whatever." And what would be one tip that you would give them for starting out?
And for starting out, probably just buy a load of crappy shoes off of eBay. If you've not got a budget, buy brand new shoes, obviously, but I didn't. And that's kind of what I did. Excuse me. And then just explore different styles of art, abstract, like linear, line work, biro. I actually still need to try that out again. And then obviously I liked portraits, but whatever works for you, just try a load of different styles, upload them, and then you might get like an audience that really likes a particular style, and then you maybe lean into that just for to please the people and try and get some orders, and then just commit to it, just stick at it, but be regular as well. Upload a few times a week, even if it's not a commission. Pretend you just send it out to someone, because people only buy what people are buying, and if they don't think anybody's buying your stuff, they're not gonna want it. Sometimes that's how
Yeah.
materialism works, isn't it? The
Yeah.
economy in general, they want what people
Yeah.
have, so you gotta look
Yeah.
in demand, even if it means faking it a little bit. I know I did that. Um, but we're here,
Yeah.
so it works.
That's a gym right there. That's a gym. See, I told you, I'm learning from everybody, man. That's a
Yeah,
gym. We
it's cool,
appreciate
man.
the gyms.
I'm surprised I can offer any, but it's good. It's good to know they're in there somewhere and they're coming out. Yeah, because again, when you're in deep, when you like a painting, if you're too close to it, you you don't see everything, and you occasionally need to take a step back, don't you, to make sure everything's in place. And when you're too close, you don't realize all these things until you really look at it retrospectively, like we're doing now.
Yeah. What is something that you're working on now that you're excited about?
Still the Off-White Jordans. So that's the one I'm the most excited about. A Bridgerton pair, and then just like I'm not really excited about the others. They're just branding for like a house and estate agent brand. It's just really simple things. But sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. You got to take those boring jobs to pay the bills, especially when they're in higher volume. You'll find there are a set of artists that just have work they can pump out in high volume, and they probably make a killing. And then you'll have people like me who just make, larger sums but less. Like I'll charge a lot more, but far less frequent than these guys making 100 pairs, in fact 300 or 400 pairs a year or every few months. But they're not bad. To get like if you can get in with companies, like Reddit, or just a lot of them are branching out now, like Dunkin' Donuts and things. They reached out to me and got a mock-up, and I've not heard back from them yet, but we'll see. And just things like that, they know that it's good for PR, so they can get all the staff wearing them, and they get a little video out of it, and everybody's happy, and they tend to have good budgets, or tend to.
Yeah.
So like, but then at the same time, people want to be freelance artists doing their own thing, but you gotta have one foot in and one foot out of those worlds. Yeah. I'm not sure where I was leading with that.
Yeah. No, there. You're right though. There has to be a balance, right? There's so many times people, and I've spoken with people who've been in this. They're like, I don't want to get stuck in doing the same thing over and over and over again. So you have to be able to find ways to balance it out. Whether if it's just doing something here and there every once in a while for your personal, goals or dreams or whatever the case may be, versus doing what puts food on the table. So you have to find whatever that balance is, because we tend to put people in boxes.
Yeah.
You go, oh yeah, that they do that thing and that's their style and that's it. And people have so much more in them than the one box that we put them in. So
absolutely, like we're even taught to, do that to ourselves and limit ourselves and doubt ourselves. But no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, we can't be conditioned. Like we wouldn't be artists otherwise. Yeah, they're the free thinkers, aren't they?
Yeah. I honestly, me personally, think artists are the best problem solvers there are. Because you're always pivoting. You're always pivoting. There's always something that comes up, and you find ways to either go with it or make a change and fix it, or whatever the case may be. You're always pivoting. So
a lot of things.
And thinking of, go ahead.
I said they do start with little drawings on a board or on a computer, and like engineers drawing out like the diagrams for the people that put them together, and they have to do all the maths, and I don't know, I'm talking about like watches and cars here, but from a baseline level, like generally something starts with art. Yeah, like I know what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, it starts everywhere. From a general idea. Idea that somebody thought up in their head. It translated to paper in some way or digital screen, and then you made it reality, right? Yeah. And then whatever obstacle that came up along the way, you found a way to get past it, get over it, sort it out to get to the finished product.
yeah, I suppose that's how you refine your skill over time. You keep making mistakes and fixing them, and making mistakes and fixing them, and it's how you get better. So yeah, no, you're spot on there. Like I'm taking away a lot from this too. Yeah, it's like a revelation. It's good, man. Yeah, need a few of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. So, what is the number one goal for you, or what's next?
Hmm. Well, so I would like to only do maybe 4 or 5 pairs a year that are just the best like work I can and the most I can even fit on a shoe. And it could go to a gallery, it could be to a celebrity, but I just want to be able to charge, 10, 15,000 pounds for one pair of shoes, going to the right people that can afford it, because there's copious amounts of people out there that can afford that. And then I don't have to do as much. It's gonna be, you know, um, elevated to a new level then of appreciation amongst people who appreciate the finer things in life. And I don't know, I just like to see my artwork in those categories. Sounds so vain. But like when Elton John, I did hear he was speechless, and when I heard that, I was like, this is a guy that is, he's been a rock star all his life. He's played for people. He's had arenas as big as Queen. It's, what is it, like 300,000 people just right there in front of him, millions live, digitally and things. And like his bar for what gives him satisfaction, again, like back to dopamine, the levels are just going to be so high, and what they're accustomed to be moved and find that the artwork would make him speechless was just, I don't know, it made me want to chase that for some reason. That again,
Yeah.
to surprise the people that can't be surprised. Like that's a challenge, you know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough one
That's
to fill.
dope. Yeah. Yeah.
But also obviously I just want to make more money, like, and do less work. And unfortunately, I feel like the everyday consumer of, just general products doesn't want to spend 10 to 15,000 pounds on a piece of artwork. You need somebody that's quite a character to want to do that, or a celebrity, or just a really wealthy businessman. I don't know, but
Yeah, you got to find the right
the goal
audience
is
and the
to
right customer.
be able to charge more and do less work and still get to enjoy it, because I'm not having to like rush it, and it's going to the right people. But I'm still working on it for sure. It's hard to say until an opportunity arises, and I might go down that path or I might go down that path. It just depends what comes up. And like I say, things are always evolving, and we're always evolving. We're never complete until we're dead. So we just keep taking each. It's good to have a goal to work towards for sure. But otherwise, just try to try to see what fate brings me. Basically,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I leave a lot to chance. I feel incredibly lucky sometimes, and like people say, it's not just luck. Like you put a lot of work into it, but like I don't know. I feel like I was there at that right time on the train doing that it gave me that epiphany, and just all these things combined was due to luck and timing, especially getting in it then rather than now. Just all these things. So
the success comes from one place, but there's also preparation that has to happen for you to be ready when the opportunity shows to get the success. If the opportunity shows and you're not prepared, then you're not going to be successful. So
yeah, that's true.
The work that you put in, it matters,
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I think somebody says like there's a quote, isn't there, that preparation and luck and where they meet, there's a fine line. So yeah, I suppose I'm prepared, but it's a byproduct of just enjoying what I do. You know, it's not something I put much energy into because I shouldn't have to. I enjoy it. You know, I don't have to force it. So again, it gets back to that. People should just have fun, but be prepared for big opportunities and how you would handle them if theoretically they did come through, and then just try and plan accordingly to that. So you got to dream big, man. You got to dream big. Just, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Right. So where could people find you at? Where could they follow you if they wanted to order a pair of shoes? Where do they go?
Yeah, so I'm just on Starline Customs at Instagram, TikTok, but mostly just them two places. They can reach out to me via email, info@starlinecustoms.com, and that's it, really. You know, they can reach out through any of those channels and just say what shoes they want, or bag or wallet or whatever, fashion accessory, and what they want on it, and we just go from there. Really.
Awesome. And guys, when you jump on there, remember to put all the details in there. You heard them earlier.
Yeah.
Every little thought, put it in there.
Very thorough. Yeah. Because you might only do it once, so you know, make it good.
Exactly.
And I'm patient enough to go back and forth for a month if we need to.
There you have it. There was another phenomenal episode. Thank you for sticking and staying with your boy, Starline Customs. Thank you for being a guest, man. It was phenomenal meeting you, talking to you, man, being able to drop some gems back and forth. Thank you for the knowledge that you share with all of us. We greatly appreciate it. Until next time, guys, fear is fake. Creating is problem solving. Peace. If you like this episode and you want to see more like it, check out these videos right here. And don't forget to subscribe.
Whoa. Listen, it takes wisdom to grab these sneakers and spin them. Cut a couple of linen and match them up with the denim called Davidito. He'll cook it up like a kilo and have your Air Ones appropriate with the stilo. He's no Lilo, but he's mean with the stitch.